You know, if my mom were still alive, she would say, honey, you should just grab the thing, say thank you, and walk off the stage. Audrey, thank you for such an incredibly generous introduction. You know, many people have said to me tonight, you know, congratulations, and I want you to know how much this means to me from such an important organization. Horizons Foundation was there for the National Center for Lesbian Rights when we were a preschooler at 4 years old. But what some of you may not know is that the fact that I'm even here is something of a happy accident of karma and timing. Some of you in this room know that in 1993, I met Sandy Holmes at an ACLU. Yeah, you still got it, babe, see? But I'm going home with her, sorry. We met in 1993 at an ACLU conference. I was a staff attorney for the ACLU, the first ever staff attorney for the ACLU of Utah. And I know. Yeah, but you know, somebody had to do it. And you know, I go to this conference in Atlanta, and I meet Sandy, and immediately, you know, feel a sort of heart race and all those kinds of things that you feel that you know, are really questioning and what the hell's going on here. So I won't go all into the rest of that, but with enough drinks I will. So Sandy and I start our relationship, me in Utah, her here in San Francisco, where she was a development associate with the ACLU, and we continue that for a year and a half. And at some point in that year and a half, I think we both recognized, it's still mystifying to me why she thought this, but I certainly felt it, that this was the person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. But I thought, I can't make her live in Utah. Because that's, no relationship will ever survive in Utah. Sandy was on the board of the National Center for Lesbian Rights. And I remember her faxing me. Okay, keep in mind, there's no email, there's no cell phones. You know, this is like later 1993. She faxes me the job description for the legal director at the National Center for Lesbian Rights. I read the job description, and I think, oh my God, I want that job. I want that job. And now here I am. Now, what I've never done is gone back and asked Sandy if she regrets faxing me the job description, because what this job has meant, you know, I was legal director for a year and a half and then became executive director the same week in 1996 that our son was born, who is now 16. And it does feel like it was just yesterday, although some people are like, when will she leave? But what Sandy has had to put up with really demonstrates that her commitment to the organization is every bit as deep and every bit as real and every bit comes from the heart as mine. And I would not be here if I did not have her as my soulmate and my sounding board year after year, talking about different issues, asking her for advice when there were critical, difficult times that the organization was going through, and always getting the most wise counsel. I love you, honey, for a million reasons, but that is certainly top of the list. Thank you so much. And then, of course, I want to just underscore what Audrey said, that us being in this all together, while this is I appreciate this individual honor, and it means so much to me coming from Horizons, who was there with us when very few other organizations were funding what was then the Lesbian Rights Project. This is so much a team effort. It is visionary founders, Donna Hitchens, Roberta Achtenberg, Nancy Davis, Marion Chapman, Teresa Friend, and countless others who had a vision that there needed to be a legal organization addressing the rights and issues faced by lesbians and the issues that they were facing that no other organization was addressing. And yet, because they were badass feminists from the very beginning, it wasn't just about representing lesbians, it was about representing anyone in our community who was targeted for discrimination or action because of who they loved or who they were. And that has been the animating feature of our organization ever since. It's been a committed and dedicated staff, and there are many former and current staff members currently in this room who day in and day out, really 24/7, are available to represent our clients, to testify when necessary, to draft legislation, to draft memos to members of Congress, to be able to reach out and answer clients' questions, and to go into court and to write briefs. It is just a volume of work that no one ever gets tired of doing, and everyone always says yes no matter what comes down the pike. It is an inspiring board of directors, many of whom are former board members who are in this room, who made it possible for NCLR to be who we are. And then it is unflagging donors, and many of you are in this room. Horizons being top of the list, being one of the first in the line of foundations, one of the very first foundations to ever support what was then the Lesbian Rights Project and then became the National Center for Lesbian Rights. So whatever rising tide is lifting all boats, you're all in the first boat. You're all a part of making that tide rise. And I know we've still got a lot to do. I know we haven't by any measure hit the finish line, but the fact that so many of us and so many of the people we know wake up in the morning unashamed of who they are, glad to be queer, happy, in loving relationships that their families support and embrace, in jobs where they can not only be out, but they're the vice presidents and they're the head of their employee groups. The fact that so much of that is happening is because we have all been in this together, and we've all taken that vision seriously, and we will not be done until everyone wakes up feeling that way in the morning. Thank you so much.